From WDWNT, the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is ParksCenter. Hello there, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of ParksCenter. Joining me on tonight's show, we have Jill. Oh, I think you're still muted. Try that again.
Hello.
There we go. Pete.
Hey, Sivako!
Rob.
Jumbo.
And Tyler.
Kingdom Hearts. Okay, that's it for today.
Yeah, it's a big deal, but unfortunately it's not in the parks, so we're not going to be covering it. But we are going to be covering the return of the Maleficent float. After quite a long wait, we didn't think that she might be coming back, but she is indeed. The Maleficent Dragon Float, which originally burned down in rather spectacular fashion during the Festival of Fantasy Parade, is now back, has a slightly new look, is hopefully less flammable, but still has fire. So it is just impressive. See, she's back. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the park. Oh man, I'm really excited to see this. Like, this is I wasn't expecting the fire this quick. I'm really glad to see this coming back.
And she looks beautiful. Like the new, there's like a nice new paint job on it and everything looks so nice and not blackened by fire. So it looks great.
Oh,
she has a better goatee than most of my friends, though. Look at that thing. That is so nice. Honestly, I'm like super excited. I knew this was coming back. I hope anyone who's like an avid listener remembers what I said months ago, that she will come back better than ever, and I knew she would. I knew they wouldn't eliminate it. This is fantastic. She looks amazing. She looks great. This is what Disney's all about. It's like, hey, we had a little like loophole. No one talk about it. Granted, there's just Twitter, but look at this. Watch this. Watch this. Oh my God.
So
oh, there it is. She looks amazing. This is what it's all about. This is the highlight of the parade. This is why you take your kids there. Adults and kids are astounded by this. I love this. I'm so happy. I'm just overwhelmed. I'm so happy. Thank you, Disney. Like, it's such a good week for Disney. Between Splash Mountain and this and everything else, I'm so happy.
Beautiful.
Totally agree. Like, she is epic. She is awesome. I'm so glad to see this happen. We were also worried that she'd come back without the fire, so I'm so glad to see that wasn't the case. And to me, it speaks a lot about, we all talk about how there aren't enough parades in Walt Disney World anymore, and there's sort of that, little bit of a worry every time of, are they going to get rid of this parade and not bring it back? And so the fact that they're investing in this and pouring the money in to fix Maleficent, clean her up, get her working again, put in new safety precautions so the fire thing doesn't happen again. That all speaks very much to me of Disney is still committed to this parade, and we're not, seeing some sort of trend towards getting rid of parades overall.
Yeah, I was going to say that I feel like that I was sure that when it came back, it would come back without fire. And I don't know if everyone, I mean, it sounds like Pete was on board 100% that it was definitely going to be back and better than ever. But I really thought when it comes back, it's not going to have the same effect. And, I've worried about that on other things in the park, too, that they're there for a little while. For some reason, something doesn't work. And rather than try to fix it, they just kind of try to move past it. And so the fact that they've took the time, like you said, to put it back in, I mean, is just really exciting. And it's the centerpiece of this parade. I mean, it is more steampunk than anything else in this parade. It looks cool. It's edgy. I mean, everybody gets excited about it when they see it, and it's a lot of fun. And the fact that they again went back to it and said, "Look, this is going to work. We're going to make it safe, but we're going to make it work again," is really exciting to see. So yeah, again, big applause to Disney. I can't wait to get back down there and see it in action. Like, I didn't know I was going to miss it until it was gone. Not that the gazebo wasn't beautiful, but I still am at this point really I want to get back and see it and really appreciate it now.
Yeah.
Listen, even Disney didn't want the gazebo. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No,
I was gonna put a little just finish note on this. Disney didn't want the gazebo either. They were not happy about the gazebo.
Yeah.
But when you got rid of the nighttime parade, I'm sure that everyone at Disney was also upset. Listen, we have an amazing audience here, and we can see with the maintenance report, we get things done. We have such an amazing fan base. And we love Disney. And they love Disney too, and they listen to us. It's amazing. But no one liked the gazebo. We love it. Like, it's a great float in front of Maleficent. Do not get me wrong. However, I'm so happy it's back. They don't have a nighttime parade. They have to make sure the daytime parade is perfect.
Yeah. The one point I was going to make very briefly here is if you look at the promo that Disney has of this, you get to see the float at night. And I really, why don't we get this at night? That would look so good at night.
I think we might have a nighttime spectacular coming soon.
I hope so.
I think it's going to be to balance out Star Wars, but we'll see. That's my Pete Carney. You'll hear it in a year from now. Bringing this back.
Another Carney theory. Here we go.
Get another one out of Star Wars. Bring them Magic Kingdom.
That's what we're calling them.
Yeah,
I know, right?
There we go.
No.
All right,
Carney
moving from there. So we're burning up all this propane fuel. We should put some reusable bags here, so we're at least a little eco-friendly. So we now have reusable bags that are available in the parks. We have the Animal Kingdom bags, which look kind of nice. I like the backside with the banshees and everything, but I'm a little biased towards my personal fandom. We have Studios has this nice red design on it that has the tower on it because we can't really do the theater. We've got the Epcot bags, just nice classic look to these. We've got the resort hotels have bags for each of the 4 park icons.
Let's not waste time. Let people talk about the damn bags while we show them, so we can move on to
the problem here. I'm getting to the problem here. We have the Disneyland bag as well. Where's the Magic Kingdom bag? We
show
don't
the
have...
bags while like Tyler, Rob, and Jill talk about them. I'm going to shut up. I give my time to everyone else.
Oh.
All right, let me talk about it first then, because I am actually kind of excited about these bags, and I didn't think I would be, because if you can see behind me, I have the park bags. Last time I was in the park, we ran this story about Disney was going to get rid of the bags and they were going to get rid of straws. And the last time I was there, I mean, not only were they everywhere and never asked me if I want a bag, they just gave me one, but I have it right here. They packed my things to go back with more bags. So they packed my bags with more bags to send stuff back. So I mean, it's crazy. So I am kind of excited about this. I mean, I hate the idea of having to pay for a bag, but some of them look really good. As a person with a problem when it comes to collecting Disney things, the idea of getting some of these bags to add to them is kind of cool. I love that there's different bags for different parks. I think that's really cool. The only thing, the skeptic in me says, how long will that last? Because I think about the mugs that they had for the resorts that were special to each resort, and they kind of phased that out and went to just one generic mug for all resorts, or when they went from Disney World and Disneyland stuff to just Disney Park stuff. I hope they continue to do this, and I think it is actually to their benefit to introduce new designs each time for individual places. I think they have them for resorts, one for resorts and then one for each park. I'm sure the Magic Kingdom ones are coming, but I'm actually actually glad to see them moving toward this. And again, I fear change when it comes to Disney, especially because I don't want change. But when I see something like this, it looks like it's a change for the positive. And the bags look cool. I mean, I'm cool to pack my car up with as much Disney junk as I can possibly get my hands on to put in these bags.
Right. I don't think that they will move to one generic bag that will be sold everywhere, simply because they can sell these. Most people are going to be like, oh, these are really cool. I want one from every park and the resorts and World of Disney. So I'm going to buy 6 of these bags. If they have one generic type, they're not promoting that repurchasability. So right. And somebody mentioned in the chat, and I think it's a little bit of both. They're talking about, aren't they really just doing this to make money? And to an extent, I think they kind of are. I mean, they're definitely not making a profit on these bags. But I do think it's in part about trying to move towards that environmental friendliness, lessening the footprint, all of that. Yeah. Although there are a lot of arguments over whether these types of reusable bags, not Disney specifically, but just any reusable bags, are actually really that environmentally friendly. But that's a different argument for a different show.
Yeah. If you truly reuse them, then it's good for the environment. If you truly reuse them.
But I think it's something
Also,
like
the-
on average about
the
50
white-
times you need to reuse one in order to make it worthwhile, but it's there. Tyler, you were going to say?
I was just going to say really quick, like, using a reusable one is a step in the right direction towards making sure that you don't use plastic ones. That being said, I don't ever walk around with anything I buy in the parks because I just set it to my hotel room in case a lot of people do not know that that's an option. That being said, I would absolutely use these to buy groceries with back here in Canada.
Yeah.
So I'm all for buying these and like one for each park, but mostly anyway.
Plus the Pandora exclusive one we've already had. So
Oh, the Pandora one. Yeah.
So speaking of things that you can spend money on, this tour, my goodness, we have this World of Dreams, World of Money, my goodness, $12,000 tour for up to 6 guests, so that's $2,000 a person ballpark if you max it out. It's a 12-hour long tour, so you're getting a lot of time out of this. You've got 2 tour guides for each tour. That's a huge, like 3-to-1 ratio is just unheard of for tours like this. But you essentially get to pick and do anything you want. You've got backstage access. You've got front of the line attractions. You can get in the Dream Suite. You've got all your food included, including some alcohol. Although I'm sure they won't let you get smashed. You can go see any of the nighttime shows. You can do pretty much anything with this thing. Is this something that's going to actually see a lot of use, or is this just Disney kind of publicizing a tour they already had off books? Because I'm sure if you gave them enough money, they would let you do whatever you wanted.
May I?
Please.
Quick show of hands.
Please, go ahead.
Who here has the money to do this?
I had it.
Exactly. This is not for us. This is for like celebrities or families with highly disposable incomes.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone, we're all on Twitter sharing our sentiments and jokes about it, and I'm sure we'll do that on the next See You Real Late. But it's those are the people who it's not for, and the fact that they're promoting it to everybody is a little bit weird. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's all. I'm just trying to take like the more correct way of looking at how this is going to be used or who the audience is for this.
I think on this particular
fine.
topic, I think that Jill and Pete need to clean up on this one. So let me say something real quick. But I think that, I'd love to know how they came up with this specific number of $12,000. Like looking down the list, what was like the ratio, that they went to and said, okay, how much can a person possibly spend on food? How much can they possibly spend? How much is it going to cost to like lead them around all day? What could they break accidentally? I don't know what they're actually thinking about that specific number, but a lot of this reminds me kind of like of those, not the cabanas that they had in the Magic Kingdom. It sounded like a sort of cool idea, but it's so expensive and it seems so elitist that it's like, we're not really going to get our hands on that. I love doing dessert parties and things like that with my family that are special, but this is clearly something that I will never be able to do. But I just, again, think back to like, how did they come up with that number?
Yeah. I mean, the offhand remark is that it's essentially $1,000 an hour, which if you're splitting it by 2 tour guides, it's $500 an hour plus all
First
of
of all,
the other
Jill,
stuff.
your hair looks
Well-
great. Please
Yeah,
go
thank
ahead.
you, Pete. Yeah, but VIP tours are only $400 an hour, so why is this $500 an hour? But like I agree with Tyler, except they don't usually advertise this sort of super VIP Richie stuff to the general public, so it's weird that they're doing that with this. But I was trying to think of things that I could possibly get to do on this tour that I would think would make it be worth $12,000. Like, can I go talk to Bob Chapek for an hour? Can I ride on the back of the Maleficent float? What can I do that would make this tour worth $12,000? And I guarantee you, all of the things that are on my list are things that
Are not on theirs.
Okay, so I have 30 seconds. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. So here we are. 12,000. Listen, I had a lot of fun with this. We have a company channel where we get a story, we talk about it, and everyone brainstorms. And I said, how can I make this worth it? And I kept putting ideas out there. Like, is this worth it? Is that worth it? I went to the best breakfast, the best lunch, Victoria and Albert's for dinner, behind the stage tours. I said, let's do this in December when Star Wars is open. I could walk onto Star Wars. I could walk onto Flight of Passage, everything else. It doesn't check out. But here's the deal.
Nope.
$12,000 divided by 6 people is $2,000 per person. If you are a person who makes over $800,000 an hour, which, not an hour, a year, this actually makes sense for you. $800K a year is where I put my number. I did my math. I'm a math guy. Then this makes sense for you. If you make over $800,000 a year, this makes sense for you and your family. It actually costs less to do this than to go to the parks on your own and do it on your own. So there you go. Your audience, for all those over $800K, you're welcome. For all those less, now I did the math for you.
The math checks out.
There we go. Moving from there to something else that'll probably be a bit more than $12,000 considering the state of the medical system here. Hepatitis A was found in a food service worker at Hoop-dee-Doo. My apologies for that transition, but this is.
You also wrote "hoopa-titties" in the on the side.
Hoopatitis. Come on.
There would have to be an E in that for it to be.
I'm just saying.
And
So
for the audience out there, just FYI, Ben, Pete, and I all ate at Hoop-dee-Doo back in December, probably when set infected.
And honestly, I would love to talk first about this. I'll be in and out. Hoop-dee-Doo is still the best show that you can go to. It is. I would go there. You can give me hepatitis A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'll still show up. It's the best show ever. You should go. And this is a rare thing that Disney cannot control. You can't control. What are you going to test everyone when they walk in the room? What do you have? Breathe into this? Everyone has a cough, a sneeze, everything else. It's fine. This is a random thing. This is so random. Have a good time at Disney. Stop worrying about this nonsense.
You make a fair point there. Like, this isn't something that really Disney can be held too responsible for. I mean, again, what are you going to do? You're going to test everybody here for that's a little extreme. But it is good that they're letting us know about this at least.
They could require all of their food service cast members to get a vaccination for hepatitis A, which is something that, frankly, most food service industries should do, and probably the relatively small cost of that would more than
no other food service places
control.
do this.
No, they don't.
They can set a good example.
They should.
Oh,
Disney should
that's
set a good example. Yeah, that's my argument.
Yeah.
Okay, well, when every food service place does it, they should do that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pete. What was that?
I've been in food service. I know I wanted to be out of this argument, but I've been in food service since I was 14 years old. No one tests for any. If anything, the people serving you your food are the most friendly people. But no one's being tested for anything.
You get a test. You get a vaccine. You get vaccinated.
Oh, good. So then there's free health insurance for food workers. Good luck on that. That sounds fantastic.
I mean, they should be getting like flu shots as well and things like that. Like, this is just.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
It's a very specific shot. You have to be taking like Twinrex or something like that. And even then, in North America, like if you're from North America and you're traveling, you don't really need it if you're traveling within North America. Like, I just saw my doctor, and they're like, did you ever get this? And I'm like, no. And it's like, okay, well, your body just invented its own antibody for Hep A, so you're fine for the rest of your life. And I'm like, okay, I'm a superhero. Like, I wouldn't have thought you could get a shot like that traveling to Florida. But other people who are coming from other countries, like, Hep A is definitely something you have to get immunized against. But it's not like a normal, like, you're only really suggested to get it if you're traveling outside of, like, the entire continent. Continent? Yeah. Right? North America. It's a continent.
Yeah, that's a continent.
Geography.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. All right, well, moving on to something else that's on this continent. The Soundsational Parade has returned to Disneyland with a few new floats. So let's just take a quick look through here. Has anybody seen the parade yet? I'll be honest, I haven't had a chance to watch this.
I'll be there in 2 weeks. Can't wait. I watched on YouTube though. It looks very good. This is very Tokyo-esque.
It does, doesn't
it? And that's a compliment because Tokyo would be the creme de la creme of Disney parks.
So that big vintage Mickey float, that one right there, that actually came from a Tokyo parade.
Oh, that's there you go.
Literally
Yeah.
From the Tokyo Disney parade
It's
that
like-
ended right before the 35th anniversary, and they
Goofy's
shipped it
so
over here.
strong.
It's like I actually know what I'm talking about every once in a while.
Once in a while.
Even a
It
blind
makes me
squirrel
really
finds a nut.
excited that they sent a float from Tokyo over here, because that makes me super hopeful that they will send other things from Tokyo parades over here, because Tokyo knows how to do parades really, really well.
Yep.
And I would
Which is so
love
funny
to
because
see some of
Tokyo-
that streaming up stuff come over here after the 35th.
It's so funny because Tokyo used to like come over here and pick stuff for us, and now we have to go to Tokyo and pick stuff from them.
That is absolutely 100% correct, because Tokyo still puts a lot more emphasis on quality.
Yeah. All right. Before we go into hate mode, I actually love this parade. I don't know if you can see it. And anyone else can cut me off because I talk way too much. But I just love the feel and the vibe of this parade through a video. I cannot wait to see it in real life. Like, everyone just looks so happy, and this is like for me, what Disney's all about. Like, everyone, like, look at these floats, look at the characters, look at the. This
Ooh,
is a
wow.
Disney parade of our childhood, but like in real time as an adult. I love this. This is fantastic.
I'm surprised to see Ariel flip her fins that high. I thought that was
No,
against
it's amazing.
regulations.
They're
That's pretty
doing
cool.
it right. Guys, I know we hate so much, but like, there's so many things going right. Like, this is fantastic.
Yeah, like this looks pretty solid to me. I'm not a huge parade guy,
Yeah,
and this honestly looks pretty nice.
All of
I'm
this
not a parade guy at all.
made me kind of miss. I miss the electrical parade. I would love to have the electrical parade come back, but it makes me miss parades in general, because I feel like, everything from the parade that they used to do, Tapestry of Nations and Epcot
Yeah.
and Stars and Motor Cars and Studios and all of the crazy parades that used to happen all over the place, and how now we're basically down to one. It makes me miss a lot of those sort of good old days of a lot more awesome parades in Walt Disney World.
Jill, you look amazing for a 64-year-old woman. It's
Oh.
so nice.
What is even happening?
You just named every parade in the history of Disney companies, but it's so nice to see that. Anyway, let's talk about some festivals.
Good night. Well, if you're 64 years old, you're going to enjoy some of the artists at this concert series.
Wow.
Oh,
Is that
man.
Cloud from Final Fantasy up there?
Yeah.
Wait for Stage 89. Stage 89, I will have my revenge, Pete.
So we have the for the Flower and Garden Festival, the Garden Rocks concert series. There is a very long list going from March 6th all the way through June 1st of all these different artists here. If you see someone you like, go ahead and shout them out. I know we've got ELO
I
on
love
here.
all of them. Well, I love Simple Plan. My mom loves Air Supply. Berlin's awesome. Rick Springfield, met him. He's awesome.
Nice.
The Spinners are great. Dennis DeYoung's great. Sister Sledge, We Are Family. That'll really kill.
Oh yeah.
Not for me, but people who love their families.
Heart of
Marshall
Styx is
Tucker
here.
Band, Starship. Oh, these are all killers. Listen,
Yeah.
these are all bands that have like those one hits where you're walking by the American Adventure and you're like, I know this song. It's great.
Oh man.
Oh,
Men at
War too?
Work.
Oh
Who can
my
it be
God.
now? Look at
Series
that.
is.
Men at Work. Oh my god.
Why can't we be
Wait.
friends? Oh man, they
ELO?
got Homer's fight song here.
This is what
You know,
I tell
there's just-
people. Like, you can't, like, this is why Epcot is people are like, Epcot's not what it used to be. And I say, like, if you go during a festival, you're right. Like, it's not what it used to be. However, it is the best curveball in Disney parks because there's always something happening. There's new food. Whenever you're there, it's brand new food. New booths. And then you have these concerts, which you cannot get anywhere else. Like, I am very lucky. I have a beautiful girlfriend who bought me tickets to Boyz II Men at Radio City Music Hall on Valentine's Day. I love Boyz II Men. I got to see him at Epcot for nothing.
Nice.
Like, that is amazing. That's crazy. So, like, I mean, Epcot brings you these artists that you can never see. You have these amazing foods you can never eat. I mean, like, you could eat them, but I'm just saying, it's just, Epcot is so much fun because it is ever changing, and that's what I love about Epcot.
That's
It's always
the
changing.
Yeah. Rob, I think you
You know,
had something.
That's the perfect way
Yeah.
to word it.
I don't know if everybody has noticed this, but there's way too many Canadian bands in here.
Too many.
Too
Yeah,
many?
I mean, Yeah, I mean, Glass Tiger, and I mean, come on. I mean, it's just, there's too, no, I'm just kidding. I was just picking on Tyler. That's the only reason I did that. I'm excited about this. I love music. I think it's cool that, like, you know, Universal basically copied this for when they do their Mardi Gras. I mean, they basically said, okay, we'll bring in acts too to mimic what Disney's doing. I echo everything Pete just said about how great it is that this is an extra something you get from Epcot that you don't get anywhere else. The festivals are always cool. The idea that they plus them out with music is fantastic. And then some of these like lineups. I mean, Colin Hay, Man at Work, is a great example because they had a lot of hits. Even if he's the only man at work left, it's still a great.
That's pretty good. Don't let it be said that we're not positive on this show, though. When you give us great stuff, we'll gush about it. That's all right. And so one of the artists there is a Flock of Seagulls that did the I Ran So Far Away. Well, guess who else ran so far away? Heimlich in his Choo Choo Train. Hey, it took some work, but we got there. So look at this. He ended up at Pixar Studios. This is great. I'm so glad to see he actually got a home somewhere that they're.
I loved this attraction. I mean, I don't know if you guys actually ever got to ride it, and you kind of felt a little silly as a grown-up sitting in the train, but it was a really cool little ride in Bugs Land at Disneyland. It was really cool to be able to, or it was at California Adventure more specifically, but it was really cool to get in it. There were smells that you would ride through, so I'm glad it didn't just end up in a heap somewhere. I'm glad that they're doing something else with it, even if it just sits on display and isn't actually recreated as a train. I think it's great that they're not just like losing this somewhere, that it does exist somewhere else, because it really was a cool attraction.
Yeah. It really was something that was special and unique. I'm sorry, Tyler, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's rare for anything to be sort of saved and placed somewhere to be a model. Like,
without getting
the
stolen.
fact that, like, I'm pretty sure it's a polar bear from Maelstrom just still exists in the backstage tour at Disney World. And it's like, well, that's great. They kept one polar bear. No trolls or anything that made the rest of that ride interesting. Yeah. But it's just, was it in Norway? No, I'm second guessing myself. Anyways, it's just super rare to actually see something get kept, and I'm glad somebody was like, we'll take it. Or Disney was like, what should we do with this? Maybe we'll keep it and put it somewhere people might care about it.
Yeah.
I feel like Pixar probably initiated this, not Disney, just based on Disney's recent track record of saving things from old attractions. And I don't know, this just I'm really happy about this. I know a lot of people loved Heimlich. I'm glad to see that part of Heimlich is surviving intact and being appreciated by people who helped create him. But it just kind of leads me back to the whole, discussion people have over and over about Disney really ought to do something where they, kind of create a museum of parks stuff. And all of us would pay a lot of money to go see that stuff. And
darn straight.
Why is that so hard?
Yeah.
Why do you have to leave Buzzy sit somewhere for like how long and let him get stolen instead of put him somewhere where we can all
or strip all the stuff off of the outside of Stitch so that he just looks sad and that's the image we have of him from now on.
I mean, if you're gonna repurpose it, gonna repurpose the animatronic, okay, fine, but
yeah.
Pete,
I think that's the only excuse. Yeah.
Let it be known, I did not speak of this story for the entire time.
Until now.
That's why
there goes that.
That will be a good plan in California in 2.5 weeks. So if anyone out in California wants to say hi, give me a big hug. 2.5 weeks. I'll see you in California.
There we go. All right, folks. Well, thank you all for joining us for this week's edition of ParksCenter.
Including you, Rob.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Pete. I appreciate it. And I really appreciate that you wanted to stop everything so that you could make a speech about how you didn't make a speech about that last topic. That was really...
Thank you.
That was well done, man. That was good.
Thank you. And now that I have the floor, I want to say...
Sure. It's not like we're trying to end a show here. It's fine. Go for it.
Sorry, go ahead, Ben. I bet you there's some amazing... plugs. There
are, in fact. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other wonderful shows that you could watch in addition to ParksCenter from WDWNT.
Dreamfinders is WDW News Today's podcast all about the creative culture surrounding Disney parks. Curious what it's like to read poetry about the Haunted Mansion? Well, we've talked to someone who has. How about what it takes to actually build a Disney castle? We've chatted with a guy who did just that. Authors, Imagineers, dancers, actors, photographers, filmmakers, and a whole lot more have all stopped by to chat about how Disney has inspired their artistic work. Dreamfinders. Episodes drop every other Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcatcher.
Ride Rehab is the podcast of ridiculously reskinning, refurbishing, and even removing Disney attractions, shows, areas, and parks. Can we cram Star Wars or Marvel into anything else? Just listen and find out. Visit riderehab.com to start listening now. That's riderehab.com.
WDWNT Nerd Alert is the podcast that encompasses all things Marvel and Star Wars in a fun and entertaining format. On each episode, we take a look at the latest news, provide reviews for the latest feature films, inform you about what is going on in the comic book world, and discuss and debate original topics pertaining to the worlds of Marvel, Star Wars, and beyond. Find us on various podcast applications by searching for WDWNT Nerd Alert.
The WDW News Today podcast is the one that started them all. Join us for comprehensive history segments, heated debates, epic countdowns, and more from the Disney theme parks around the globe. Just search for WDW News Today in whatever podcast service you choose.
Last but certainly not least is WDWNT's premiere show, WDW News Tonight. Join us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. for a live weekly audio and video show that combines the latest headlines, comedy, trending vacation topics, call-in games, and in-depth discussions to bring Disney fans a one-of-a-kind 2-hour program covering the Disney parks. If you can't catch the show live, you can always watch it later on YouTube or listen to it through your desired podcast service.
Yep. And in addition to that, you can find us, ParksCenter, on YouTube at youtube.com/WDWNT. Be sure to subscribe there and click the bell to get notifications every time we go live, which is Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also subscribe to our podcast feed. Just search for ParksCenter wherever fine podcasts are sold, and you should be able to find us relatively easily. And with that, there is no post show tonight, unfortunately, because honestly, I'm getting ready to move a little bit. We're going to have a new studio for ParksCenter next week. It's going to look a little bit nicer than the bit of a cluttered backdrop back there.
Show. I just told people there's a post show. 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
All right. Well, guess what? We're doing a public post show. It's for everybody. You're all welcome to stick around.
No,
so,
in N-Tune. All right, never mind.
So let's go ahead and let's just do this. So I'm going to cut the show here for everybody who's watching the replay. But if you are watching with us live, stick around for the post show. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week.
That was totally my bad.